Hello, Knights fans. Welcome to the 12th edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup, 11 for me personally, Ryan Uhlich. I'm here with the head of the FDU baseball program, Gary Puccio. Gary, it's beautiful out, a little windy though. How you doing today?
Doing well, Ryan. How you doing?
Fantastic. We don't have an alumni question of the week this week because in lieu of the question, we're just going to discuss more about this weekend's Alumni Day. That's Saturday, May 2nd. So anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, it starts out at the fitness center with a breakfast, and we're going to honor Mike Sansilio, who passed away recently and was a member of the 62 team and all-decade member of the 1960s. He was at the dinner last year and received his award and everything, so should be a nice day. Going to honor him, and then we'll come out here and obviously a crucial series, and it'd be great to have the alumni rooting for us.
Absolutely. 4-game series upcoming against LIU Brooklyn here at the Naimoli Family Baseball Complex. Let's go into last weekend. We talked last week about how this is about 2 weeks off of conference games. So you had this past weekend a 4-game series against NJ Tech, one here, one there, to work out some kinks. You took 3 out of 4 from the Highlanders, and let's break them down. Game 1. This is a question I have for you. You had Anthony Calisi starting that game. Ryan McGrath got the win in middle relief, and it was an interesting game because Calisi gave up 3 runs. Dylan Sprague hits his second home run to tie it up 3-3, and then they score 2 off of McGrath over his innings, in separate innings, and then Joel Roman hits his 4th long ball to win the game 6-5. My question is, why'd you have Calisi start that game to only have McGrath come in later, and then tell me about what Sprague and Roman are doing for your offense in that game.
Yeah, we talked about this before, that I wasn't going to give Ryan a start during the non-conference weekend because he's thrown a lot of innings, and I'd never thrown more than like 10 innings for us in the past, and I felt use that bye week as a chance to give him a rest, and at the same time I didn't want to totally rest him because I didn't want him going 2 weeks without pitching. So he and I had talked about it. We had agreed he'd be the first reliever that day and he would throw 50 pitches, and as it turned out he threw 52 and ended up with a W, so that worked out great for him. Calisi pitched a real good first inning and then struggled in the second inning with a bunch of walks and a hit batter, and kind of hurt himself. So we did stake him to a 3-0 lead, and Dylan Sprague came up big with a 3-run homer to tie it. And then, as you said, they were up 5-3, and Joel in the bottom of the 5th, I think it was, hit a 3-run homer and gave the ball to Snyder, and it was career save number 30.
All right, game 2, Saturday here in Teaneck. It was Joe Flack on the bump. Flack went the distance. A very solid start, yet another one. In 5 starts this season, a sub-3 ERA. He's been pretty good coming off the injury, and this was an interesting game as well. You gave a lot of the regulars a game off, and as you said, they didn't miss a beat. You had the bottom of the order of Jason Fatzinger stake the team to a 2-0 lead, with the lead that they wouldn't relinquish the rest of the game. And then you had Corbin Gapsky and Jose De Leon at the bottom of the order, also picking up a couple hits each. I mean, tell us what you liked out of that game.
I mean, that's one of the things I've told this team all along, is that we have more depth position player-wise than we've ever had. I mean, we don't have the depth on the pitching staff, but we certainly have the depth in position players, and they didn't miss a beat. I mean, Ryan Brennan was nursing a heel that he probably could have played, but I didn't want to take a chance. I said, it's non-conference. Let's let a couple other guys play, and Fatzinger had a big weekend for us, steps up with a 2-run homer, first of his career, and Jason's going to be a hell of a ball player. I mean, kid's got good pop, real good at-bats all the time, good outfielder. He's the real deal. He's going to be a big help for us as the years go on. And I was impressed with him. And Corbin, you can't help but root for Corbin. And Corbin had 2 hits in that game. It was great. And same thing about Jose. I mean, Jose's one of the kids that the whole team loves him, and he's just a trooper for us. And Jose had a great line because we took a 4-1 lead, and I took him out and put Dylan in at second for defense, and Jose comes over to me and he says, I'm hitting 750 and I still can't play. Which was like classic.
That's good, I know.
It was terrific. But I said to him, you also made an error today, and now we're up 4-1, so we won defense. So I got away with it.
And then Sprague came in and hit a triple as well. He had an RBI triple, of course. And then
had a bunt play on originally, and he fouled the bunt off. Oh no, he fouled the bunt off. It was a 1-1 count. They were charging, so we flashed to swing away, and he deposited over the right fielder's head. So
It's baseball. That's how it works. So game 2 in the books. There's a doubleheader sweep here at home Saturday. Again, just tell me what you liked out of Flack that game. I mean, he only had the one strikeout, but he was pitching well in a groove, and he really worked over the lineup a couple times.
You know what you got to love about Joe Flack is he's a competitor, and I think that's the 9th or 10th time that he's given up 3 runs or less for us. And he's 2-2 this year, but last year he only had 1 win. He had gone 6 games in a row where he didn't get a win despite doing that. And he's just a trooper. He keeps you in the game, and I think he threw 4 double play balls in that game. Like he's one of those kids that just gets, poor contact for the hitter and helps us. He gets a lot of ground balls, and he just does a lot of good things. He doesn't beat himself, and he's very steady. The kid's a competitor. I mean, he's only a sophomore. I mean, I love what's ahead for him.
All right, and speaking of pitching, in game 1 of the road doubleheader, you had Joe Borelli, Mr. First Pitch himself, on the bump. You talk about depth and the lack of it with the pitching, but everyone's healthy at the moment, and everyone's pitching pretty well, especially Joe as well. Joe got the victory in game 1 of that doubleheader, game 3 of the weekend. Give me some thoughts about his performance heading into this conference weekend.
Well, Joe went up against their best pitcher, the lefty for New Jersey Tech, and I mean, he outpitched them. That's what it boils down to. I think we only had 3 or 4 hits, and Joe held them to 2. I mean, he was just vintage Joe Borelli. It's for the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing the Joe Borelli that was a freshman here that's just dominating, and he's I don't think he's walked anybody in the last 2 starts, and he's been very consistent. And the kid gave us a phenomenal outing, and it was 2-0. And bottom of the 8th, he got a little tired. Well, bottom of the 6th, I guess, because 7-inning game. But got a little tired and, called on Snyder for save number 31. So, and Snyder was a little, gave up a run in the bottom of the 9th. That's the first run he's given up in a save situation. So that's incredible. I mean, it's incredible what he's done. But the bottom line is they had first and third, 2 out, and Snyder got it done, and that was it. It was 3-1 victory. But Borelli deserves all the credit. He pitched a phenomenal game. He really did.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Borelli nearly went 6 full innings, and it was Snyder the one that gave up the run in the game. But speaking about the offense, real quick, yeah, only 5 hits in the game, but it seemed like every one of them mattered. They all were impact hits, or they scored a run. So
we strung together hits, which was good. Dylan Sprague doubled, and I think Ryan Brennan followed with a double, and Brennan went 2 for 3 for us, DH in that game, and drove in a run, and and then the second run, Johnny Giacchis, man on third, 1 out, hit a ground ball on the right side. It brought home the other run, and that was big at the time to make it 2-0. It was a quality out, and sometimes it's not hits that counts; it's quality outs that count. And Johnny delivered big for us in that spot.
Sure. And then you head into the final game of the weekend. This is the one loss of the weekend, so what are we going to talk about? But no, we can talk about some positives you took out of the game. This was Logan Frady. Didn't go the distance, but he pitched. He struggled in the second inning. It was a big second inning, a couple errors, but otherwise looked good. So what are some thoughts about it?
Well, in fairness to Logan, we kind of let him down that second inning. There was a double play ball that Dylan kind of bobbled. We still got an out on the play, so there's no error. But at the same time, if we turn to double play, they don't score any runs in the inning. And then they got a base hit with bases lowered that drove in 2, and we threw the ball around, and all 4 runs ended up scoring. So, and then we made another error in the inning. So he basically had 2 errors and a misplay during that second inning, and we gave up 6 runs in that second inning, and that's the difference in the game. I think we lost 8-0, but once you're down like that, 6-0, it's kind of hard to bounce back. Especially we played sloppy, but that was our only bad inning in the entire weekend. So it's hard for me to get upset at that. The one thing I did tell the guys is, that inning should have been held to 2 runs, and that's what we got to realize. Don't make it worse than it is. Try to keep it to a minimum when the other team's scoring. Keep that crooked number as small as possible. But overall, 3 wins out of 4, that's all you ask for. It's very hard to sweep teams in 4-game series. Very rare. So to win 3 out of 4, I'll take that every weekend.
No, absolutely. And the fact that there was that one bad inning, that really does say a lot. Unfortunately, it was out of conference, so it doesn't really matter. But it's a lot of good tune-ups up for this weekend, and we'll get to that right now. The Blackbirds are coming to town. LA Brooklyn, Friday 1 game, Sunday 1 game, Saturday's a doubleheader. That's Alumni Day, the May 2nd. Make sure you're out here for Nine Mully Family Baseball Complex. Give us a little scouting report of the Blackbirds, what you're expecting this weekend.
Hey, they're a good ball club. They just split with Bryant. They went up there 2-2 with them, and they've been playing very competitive ball all year. I think they're 7-9 in the conference, so technically we're tied with them because we're 5-7. So technically that's a tie. But you know what? What counts is how many wins you have on the board at the end of the season. They got 7. We have 5 right now. So this is a big series for us, and it's a home series. And you know, we got to come out of here with at least a split or a victory in the series, and I think that's important. If we don't, we're still alive. I mean, we're in a position where so many teams are battling for this last spot that it's really going to come probably down to the last weekend. But we could help ourselves a lot with at least a split this weekend, and especially if we could win this series. But it's sure not going to be easy. LAU's playing good ball. Alex is doing a real good job with them, and you know, they're in contention for the spot too. So they're certainly not going to roll over and play dead for us.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a NEC season without it coming down to the last week, and it pretty much happens every year. FTU fighting for the last spot. They're in pretty good position if they're hosting the Brooklyn Blackbirds. You come out and support the Knights, cheer them on to victory. As you heard Gary say, a split or a win this series is huge going forward. We'll see you for Alumni Day the entire weekend, hopefully. I mean, forecast calls for perfect weather, if not, you know, similar to what we're dealing with right now, which is nice for a change. And anything else wanting to add?
No, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's important for people to get out here this weekend. It's a crucial weekend, and we're playing our best ball right now. We've won 7 of 10, so we're playing our best ball right now. And hopefully we can let that continue for 3 more weeks, and if we have 3 more weekends, and if we do, going to be a happy ending at the end of the season.
Absolutely. Looks like the Knights are rounding to form right now. Come out and support your Knights this weekend. 1 game Friday and Sunday apiece, 2 on Saturday, Alumni Day. We'll see you here at the Non-Emily Family Baseball Complex. And you look like you want to say something.
The only other thing I want to add is we just want to congratulate the softball team on. I believe they've made the playoffs. I don't know. It's not clinched official, but I guess the other team has to go like 4-0 for them not to make.
The softball team, you're looking at 2 other teams are in contention for that final 2 spots, and they're both going up against the top 2 seeds.
Right.
On the road. So they would both have to sweep,
right,
and FD would then lose. So, you know, it's looking good, but it's not official
yet.
Right,
so it's like 90%, but not. But Candy's done a great job with so since she's been here. She made the playoffs last year, and it looks, obviously, like you said, 90% they're going to make the playoffs again, and she's just done a super job, and we congratulate her and wish her well in the playoffs.
Absolutely. The Knights on both diamonds, playing well. That's it for the 12th edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup. We'll see you for lucky number 13 next week. Hopefully it's lucky. Right. And we will see you here in Teaneck this weekend, 4-game series against the Blackbirds. Thank you for watching this week.